Hey guys, this is Brad with Pondscapes of Charlotte, and in this video today I'm going to be showing you the leak detection process our company goes through on pondless waterfalls. This is a great video if you're trying to find it out on your own. It's a great first step to get you on your way to hopefully finding and solving the leak. Or if you called us for an exploratory clean out or because you had a leak and you also want your water feature cleaned, we may have asked you to do the first step in our process in order for us to have a better understanding of your water feature and know where to look for those leaks. Because finding a leak in any water feature is a lot like finding a needle in a haystack. It can be very, very difficult. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to determine which part of the water feature exactly is leaking. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to divide this pondless waterfall into 3 sections, okay? The first section is the basin, okay? This is an underground basin that the majority of pondless waterfalls have. The water starts at the top, comes down the stream, and disappears into gravel. Well, under that gravel is a basin filled with what we call aqua blocks, and that just is basically an area to store water and have some structural support. At the bottom of this basin is where your pump is and where the water gets pumped back to the top. And the water down here in the basin, which is underground, can fluctuate. It can go up and down without you even really knowing, standing on the surface because you can't see. So that's one of the areas that we want to isolate. The other one is the plumbing. This dotted line is the plumbing. It's buried. It can also leak. Okay? And then the third part of the water feature is the stream itself, okay? So our goal is to isolate these 3 things in order to find out which section is good. So one of the tests that we're probably going to ask you to do before we come out on an exploratory cleaning, if you have a pondless water feature that is leaking, we're going to ask you to turn off the water feature, okay? And that basically means there's an outlet here with a plug in it. We're gonna unplug the water feature so that the water stops, okay? All this water is water in motion. It's going to end up all inside the basin, okay? So we're gonna unplug the pump, and we're going to stick a garden hose into the basin, okay? So say when we unplug the pump, the water level is here, underwater, or underground is there, so you can't really see. You're going to stick the hose in just on anywhere really where the waterfall comes in. On top of the gravel is the basin, and this is going to raise this water level all the way up to the top. Now, ideally, what we want you to do, and this might not be possible depending on how the basin is set up, is normally there's a fake rock or a vault. It's like a lid, and you can open this lid up and you can see this is the vault where the pump is, and you can see really well the water level. You know, where it is in the basin. But we want you to basically fill this basin up and get a reading on the water level. Take a photo of where you see it in the vault or in the basin if you can't get to the vault. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave the water feature off overnight for 24 hours. Anytime you get rain, it affects the results of the water loss, because you're adding water obviously, and you don't want to do that. So we want to wait 24 hours without rain. So you take a photo of this spot where the water level's at, turn off the hose, wait 24 hours. You come back out the next day, either one of two things are going to happen. Either you're going to have exactly the same amount of water in here, or you're going to have less water. Maybe it'll go down 2-3 inches. So if the first thing happens, no water loss, in the basin, then we can cross this out as a spot where the water feature could be leaking. And that just leaves the plumbing in the stream as well. Okay? If the water level in the basin went down at all, 1 inch, 2 inches, 6 inches, what we want to do is we want to take another photo of relatively from the same spot you took the original photo, wait another 24 hours, and then see if the water level has gone down. And basically we want to wait until the water level stops going down. It might take a couple days, it might be one more day. It's hard to tell. If, say there's a hole right here, okay? There's a hole in the liner buried in the basin. The water level is going to continue to drop down, lose water, until it gets to the spot where it's leaking out, okay? So then that would be all full of water. When we come for the exploratory clean out and this is level, we'll know, okay, we have a leak in the basin and it's leaking down to this spot, so we need to check to see if we can patch a part of the liner there, or plug a hole, or see what the problem is, okay? Most of the time, the problem is not in the basin. Most of the time, the problem is in the stream. Some of the time, it's in the plumbing, okay? This is the first step you want to do before we come out there on exploratory clean out, is turn off the pump, fill the basin up, take a photo of the water level, preferably somewhere on the vault where it's not going to get moved. Wait 24 hours with no rain, and come back and check that water level. If it stays the same, great. Then we know when we come out for a clean out to be looking for the plumbing or in the stream for potential leaks. If we know it's in the basin, we keep letting that water drop until it levels out. And then we'll have a better idea on where to look in the basin for a leak. So guys, basically testing the basin on a pondless waterfall is the extent of the testing we're going to ask 99% of our customers to do before we come out for an exploratory clean out. You shouldn't have to do more than this on most situations. Doing this just gives us a head start when we go out for an exploratory cleaning, specifically because this is so time consuming. It takes 24 hours to see if it's leaking or not. We have a better chance when we go out there to find your leak if we know it's either in the plumbing or the stream, and we don't have to be worried about, is the basin leaking as well. We'll know or not before it comes out there. A couple things to keep in mind when you're doing this test is the liner in the basin. It could have a low edge, like say it comes up and it's low on the back end. And that basically means if you fill this up to the top, it's gonna run out all the way until it gets to the top of the low edge, okay? So if you fill it up and it goes down 3 inches, 6 inches, and then stops going down, it's most likely you just have a low edge in the basin, which is normally not a problem at all, especially if it's towards the back and away from where the water is flowing, because this basin and this pump can run perfectly fine with this amount of water in the basin. So just because this drops within the first day could just mean that you overfilled the basin a little bit. It doesn't necessarily mean that you got to rip all this stuff up. It could just be a low liner edge. So it's important to wait, take photos every 24 hours, and make sure that you can basically tell when the water level stops. And if it's high up here, near the top, most likely you're in good shape. Your basin's going to be able to function during that height. If you're doing this by yourself, or you're also curious about how exactly we're going to find the leak when we go out for an exploratory clean out, I'm going to talk about that now. So, like I said earlier, finding a leak in a pondless waterfall is like finding a needle in a haystack. It can be really hard, and sometimes there can be more than one needle. So when we come out, say that the customer did the leak detection process, the first step of filling up the reservoir, and the basin is holding water, we can cancel the basin as being a problem. We know it's either in the plumbing or the stream. Well, most of the time, the plumbing is buried, and there's only a few connection points, coming out of the vault, where we're even able to see the plumbing, okay? So we're gonna inspect those visual points and see if there's like a loose rubber boot that's losing water. We're also gonna inspect where we think the pipe is, and if we see a puddle of water forming as the thing's running, we might dig a little bit and see if we can find either where the plumbing has been damaged or is leaking. Most of the time, it's not in the plumbing, it's in the stream, but occasionally it is in the plumbing, and when we're out there, we'll be able to assess the situation and see, can we just fix a little portion right here and fix the problem, or is this whole plumbing basically need to be replaced because of either the material used wasn't of quality. This is all stuff that we don't know before we go out there and have our professionals take a look at it and assess the situation. Most of the time we can't tell this over the phone. So that's what you get for the exploratory cleaning, is us coming out here. A lot of the times too, the majority of the times, the leak is in the stream, okay? So a couple of things that happen quite often when the Pondless Waterfall is leaking in the stream is up here where the waterfall starts, you might have a bunch of plants, okay? And they might have grown over the years, and they might have actually started clogging the waterfall where the water comes out of, the biofalls or spillway, whatever you have up there. It could start clogging up the front of this, raising the water level, and then the water could start coming out the back, okay? So that's one thing you always want to check, if you're trying to find this on your own, is check the back of whatever the waterfall's coming out of. If it's a biofalls or something else, you want to make sure that the water's just not coming out the back because something is clogging up the weir. Also, a lot of the times, there's plants growing all throughout the stream, and if it hasn't been cut back, if it hasn't been taken care of over the years, it'll start to dam up the stream, and the water level in the stream will end up rising, and then it'll end up going over the edge of the liner. And how to fix that, we take out overgrown plants that are damming up the stream, and it allows the water to lower itself back to the normal operating levels and continue on. The same thing happens with leaves during the fall time. If you have a ton of leaves, you can start damming up the stream, causing leaks. And then the other thing that could happen is rocks could have been moved, liner could have settled. The rubber liner could have once been like this. And here's the water, okay? Well, over time, because there wasn't enough dirt packed in here, this could settle. This liner could settle like that. And once this water starts coming over, it just settles more and more and more. So what we would do, we would find this spot from tracking the water and end up raising the liner back up and packing some dirt underneath the liner to make sure we keep it up and tall. Now, we don't always find the leak during exploratory cleaning. A lot of the times we go out to a water feature and we see multiple problems or multiple potential problems with a water feature. And what we do is we talk to you about them. We're basically open and honest with everything that we see, and we give you solutions on how to fix it. We try and do these easy fixes, right? You know, if we see where the water's piling up, and we look at the plumbing and we can fix it, we fix it on the spot. Now, a lot of times we got to replace the entire plumbing because the piping that was used is just not of quality. If we fix this problem, there's going to be another problem over here. And with the stream, you know, we're going to look for stuff that's causing the problem, that's damming up the stream. Maybe the liner has settled, but sometimes we simply just can't find it. The water is going somewhere we can't find it. So when that situation happens at the end of the exploratory cleanout, we're going to give you some solutions to solve the problem. That might be rebuilding the entire water feature. If you have problems in the basin, if you have problems in the plumbing and the stream, then we're going to recommend to rebuild it. If we know that the basin was built correctly, holds the amount of water, is not leaking, then we can recommend, hey, let's just rebuild the stream. We can reuse the same rocks, the same, pump, the same stuff that works, but we'll just get a new liner in. There's so many different situations and scenarios, it's hard to go over everything in one video, but basically when we're out there, our professionals are going to assess the situation and give you options on moving forward how to basically get your water feature to stop leaking. I hope this video helped you guys know what to expect during the exploratory cleaning. Also, maybe it helps you if you're trying to do it yourself and fix the problem. Hopefully we got some tips from the video. If not, you can give us a call and we'll be happy to help you out. Good luck to you guys out there.